We'll be going over IRS Notice CP207L. This is a notice that you might receive if the IRS found certain errors or missing information in the Record of Federal Tax Liability section of your Form 941, which is the employer's quarterly tax return. So we're going to go through the notice. We'll talk about what it means to you as an employer and what you need to do to fix this. But first, let's take a look at the top of the tax notice. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the notice number, CP207L, the tax period, which is March 31st, 2017. In this case, the notice date was issued on February 9th, 2018. There's the employer ID number and then a contact phone number for the IRS. Up here on the left-hand side, you'll see the IRS address that this was sent from, and then your company's name and address. So a couple things. One, if you're going to respond to this, you shouldn't necessarily use this address until you see where the IRS is asking you to respond. So there's a response form in here. Use the information in the response form. It might look very similar. It might be completely different, but I usually encourage people to use the response form, as it does help you determine, it just helps you get it to the right place. So don't rely on the letterhead address. The second thing is check your name and address to make sure that everything's accurate. For example, if you've recently relocated your business, if you've moved, then your address might be incorrect. And if you're expecting IRS correspondence, then you should make sure your address is correct. That way, if you do have to take action on something, you give yourself as much time, because the notice date, that is going to be the trigger for your next action item. And it doesn't really matter when you receive it. It matters how quickly you react versus the notice date. So in this case, there is a due date of March 26, 2016. So actually, this seems to be off because that's past tense. So this is obviously an illustrative example, sending the response form by March 26, 2016 or 2015. But sometimes the IRS notice will put, please respond within 21 days, or please do this within 30 days of the notice. So be sure to buy yourself as much time simply by keeping your information accurate. So let's take a closer look. So we're going to need to correct the Schedule B, and if you want to do that, you're going to need to report each tax liability, but don't include your deposits. Don't show your negative amounts, and if an adjustment results in a decrease of your tax liability, then you apply that to the corresponding tax liability on your record of federal tax liability, but don't reduce it below zero. You can add the remaining decrease to any later liability amounts. If you need to follow a monthly deposit schedule, then you should list the total liability amount for each month. If you're required to follow a semi-weekly deposit schedule, then list tax liability amounts for each day in a month instead of just each month. Also check that the total amount on your Schedule B equals your total tax liability on your tax return. So if you don't respond by whatever correct date is in here, the IRS will go ahead and calculate a penalty and then send you a bill. And they'll calculate your penalty by averaging the total tax and then distributing it equally throughout the tax period. Your payments and deposits will be applied to average liabilities in the date order that the IRS receives them. And then this is the rate schedule that they use. 2% for any deposits made 1 to 5 days late, 5% for any deposits made 6 to 15 days late, 10% for any deposits made either 16 or more days late or not deposited using the electronic federal tax payment system, and then 15% for any amounts that were unpaid for more than 10 days after the date of the first notice. So there's additional information. We can find that at this link. We will circle back to that in just a moment. But I want to take a look at this response form. So you can complete the form, send it to the IRS with your completed Schedule B for Form 941, and then make sure that the IRS address shows to the window. So there is information here. If you're using your own envelope, mail your package to the address on this form. So, postmark your mail to this address. Let's take a quick look at the website just to make sure we've covered all the bases. It does say that they need additional information. Here's some frequently asked questions and then tips on how to succeed in the future. So this is pretty straightforward. The situation you encounter might not be as straightforward, but do follow the literal instructions. And if you do have questions, contact the IRS at the number in the upper right-hand corner. So sometimes you might need to have this refreshed a couple of times or a third time, but use this phone number to contact the IRS so that you can get a clear understanding of what's happening. So that's all we have for this video. If you have any, we'll put links to in the show notes to some of the resources we've created about IRS Form 941 if you're interested. If you do like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about this notice, please post them in the comments section. And if you have any ideas for upcoming videos, if there's a question that you'd like to see answered in a video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.